So I came all the way over here. You said you was holding.
I didn't say what I was holding.
Anton Tobias never had much on his mind.
Don't you think you should have, like, a goal?
My dream life would be to lie around all day in bed and watch TV while some hot broad delivers me food.
And he always had time on his hands.
4 bodies have been discovered, and the killer is still at large.
Until one of them
What's happening to me?
got a mind of its own.
I have no control over my hand. It makes me do things I don't want it to do.
Aren't you a little old for Ding Dong Ditch?
Sorry about your bush.
I'm gonna call 911. What's the number?
I'm not the killer.
Okay. I mean, if OJ could get off, then I'm sure. You there?
Now, his hand won't stop.
I don't want to hurt you. They don't! Ew, that's disgusting.
His friends won't die.
You're dead. Undead, actually. And there was this big, bright white light at the end of a long tunnel.
So what happened?
We were like, forget that, man. It's too far.
And the only way to stop it
Idle hands are the devil's playpen, so keep my hands occupied, right?
is to keep it busy.
Freeze! Drop the knitting needles.
That's probably not a good idea.
Put him down!
Cuff me!
Put those needles down, young man!
Cuff me! Cuff me!
Columbia Pictures presents
The police have no leads, and the killer is still out there.
You scream like a girl.
the comedy
Careful, it's on kind of loose. That's really starting to get on my nerves.
that dares to give scary movies
Look at me! I'm in the face!
the backhand.
What you doing, man? That's my dad. Come on.
CPR, man. I saw him Baywatch. Did you lose something there, bud?
Idle hands. The touching story of a boy and
What's
his
going on,
hand.
guys? Mark here with Tully Television, and today we're going to be doing a retro blast. We're going to be getting into Idle Hands, but before we even get into that review, if you wouldn't mind subscribing, liking, commenting if you like the content here at the channel. Only together can we go straight to the moon, baby. Because every interaction counts here at Tully Television. We're here to entertain you. Bring your day some sort of joy, emotion, something. Okay? But let's get into it today. The movie Idle Hands came out April 30th, 1999. We got Devon Sawa as Anton, Seth Green as Mick, Jessica Alba as Molly, Eldon Henson as Prub, a.k.a. Foggy Nelson, Vivica A. Fox, Debbie LaCure, Jack Noseworthy, is Randy, Fred Willard, and Connie Ray are mom and dad of Anton. And I want to mention Sean Whalen here is McMacy, a cop who busts Anton's balls throughout the movie. And he is from Always Sunny in Philadelphia and is one of the weird brothers that always bothers Charlie. That little rivalry that he's got with those brothers. This particular movie is, I believe, on the list of almost every horror fan of at least knowing the movie. And normally the Retro Blast here will cover movies that are significant in the zeitgeist of pop culture, or will cover movies that gained a cult following, and that's more of what this movie is. The word of mouth became a cult following over the years because it bombed in the box office. To be honest with you, I think it only made like $4 million, $5 million, and the budget was like 20-something million dollars. But it definitely probably made its money over the years through DVD sales, Blu-ray sales, and such. It's a goofy horror movie, but in a good way. For the time, the CGI was okay. You know, I'm not saying it couldn't do with a touch-up or something here and there, I guess. for those special effects freaks out there. And I don't really mean freaks, just the nerds, right? The special effects nerds. But I also think the practical effects looked really amazing in this movie. The way that Prub and Mick looked after they died and then they came back to life, to be able to have that beer bottle coming out of Seth Rogen's head the whole time and look like Prub's head really was cut off and then plopped back on and kept together. Yeah, to me, the practical effects looked good. Even at one time, Anton to try to prevent the hand from doing anything else after he killed his parents. He didn't really. The movie started off with the murder of his parents, and then he wakes up, showing us how much of a slacker he is, how unmotivated he is. That he goes straight to Wake and Bacon, is looking for some of the devil's cabbage, so to speak, to just chill, watch TV, listen to music all day. And he even mentions at some point that he didn't see his parents for a few days. That's how much in his own world he is, that he can go days without even seeing his parents in the same house and have it not bother him. But little does he know they're dead, you know. And the only way he discovers that he was the killer was that the hand started becoming possessed while he was aware of it and took his friends out, you know. The only thing they didn't get into is why only the friends came back, unless I missed it, and why the parents stayed dead. And they didn't really get into specifically why the hand possessed Anton, like his hand became possessed, outside of them leading into that the idle hands is the devil's playground. To me, especially getting me to go to Catholic school for so long as a kid and being raised Catholic in church and every week for decades on end, that was one of the biggest phrases I heard was idle hands is the devil's playground, which means try to be productive. These hands are meant to build and create, not to destroy and tear down. So that's what they're leaning into with this movie. But they don't really, it's for people who are slackers, right? They don't even really get into the fact that Anton's an evil guy, even initially beforehand. He's just a typical pothead 17-year-old who doesn't want to do or deal with anybody, deal with anything outside of his own sphere of enjoyment, so to speak, with his friends, smoking pot, music, all this stuff. When we meet Molly, Anton is trying to get some pot from his friends, but he's seen that she dropped her lyric book. She's trying to be a songwriter, and she really likes him because they really start like it's almost as if she was waiting all this time because this was really their first interactions together because he was such a chicken shit throughout the whole amount of time that he lived near her that she really actually liked him. And, you know, so they wound up kind of really just, you know, instant chemistry, instant togetherness, right? All while trying to figure out, and this is all happening on Halloween, so to speak. So it really is good that when Mick and Prub go out, everyone's thinking it's their Halloween costume because the accumulation of this story happens at the Halloween dance at the school because there's curfew in the neighborhood and there's really not much else for the kids to do outside of going to this dance, so to speak. So Anton agrees to meet Molly there. And we also run into Debbie LaCure's character, who's Vivica A. Fox. And she's some sort of devil hunter, demon hunter. And she goes around trying to take people or things out that are bringing evil to the world. Randy is some heavy metal guy that's like he's just like a Chad, right? He's always trying to get laid. Like at one point, one of the big things was that there was a set of twins who perished, and it wound up probably being Anton, right? And there's a girl there crying about, the tragedy of the two people dying. And he's just like, oh man, I was really close with them. We should go back and talk about our feelings together. Talk about our feelings by doing taxes. He's this type of guy. Think of a real Will Ferrell's character from Wedding Crashers, that he'll even crash a funeral. You know what I mean? This type of guy. But he's knowledgeable about the occult world. And so him and Debbie wind up getting together, and their bond grows, and they wind up getting together at the end of the movie. I thought that was pretty cool. Ultimately, Anton comes up with the idea of cutting his hand off, thinking that this would solve the issue. I'd rather live without a hand as opposed to live with the hand that's just like, doing all these things. I will say that in the movie, the actor tried to do his best to make it look like he was fighting himself, right, with the hand and trying to make his hand stop doing the things that I was doing. I think that everyone, considering what this movie was, this cast, really, to be honest with you, is a pretty decent cast, because outside of Devon Sawa, I'm sure I may have seen him in other movies. I can't really remember outside of this movie here. But you got Vivica A. Fox. You got Jessica Alba. You got Seth Green. Even, again, Eldon Henson. He's still working today. His last role I know him of is Foggy Nelson from the Daredevil show that was on Disney Plus earlier this year. So even after 20-something years, some of these people are still working, or, creating projects still. And I would say that I probably would give this movie a 7, a solid 7. Because there's sometimes that Anton, the acting is, I don't know, I'm not saying the guy's a bad actor. I mean, I'm not an actor or a critic or anything like that. I'm going based off of my views as an audience member. Okay. Like for me, the kind of like my favorite characters were Mick and Prub. I even enjoyed Debbie and Randy's interactions together. Anton just seems like, and yes, that's the point. He's a total loser, and you're supposed to look at him as a total loser. And that he winds up saving the day at the end of the day. At the end of the movies, his friends get to go to heaven. He gets to make a choice to go to heaven because he got crushed by a car lift. Okay, that will lift your car. Or he got to stay behind and try to make a relationship in life with Molly, Jessica Alba, and that's what he winds up doing. And that's where the movie ends. So like I said, I'll rate this movie a 7 out of 10. Just for like kind of the acting stuff and not really getting too much into the lore of why the possession happens and why it chooses the people it does. I wish they would have gotten a little bit more into that. As far as I came across, there's no other media, like no sequels, no shows or anything like that. I don't even know if there's really like a comic book or anything to this that was made. I would be interested in seeing perhaps some sort of sequel to where it's Anton older with Molly, and it's him, and they got to team up with Vivica A. Fox and Noseworthy's character Randy there, and maybe come across a new possession, maybe something like that. But then again, I don't really hear anyone clamoring for it. Even the cult following that this movie has gotten over the years. But I don't know. You let me know down below what you thought of this movie. Did you see it? Did you not see it? Would you be willing to see sequels of it or comic books or something? Let me know all that down below. And if you don't know, don't forget how amazing and awesome you guys are every day, because it's people like you that help the world go around. Until next time, Snookums, peace.